one's in the city. No one's in the city. We're over watching video.
Tom Gander.
What's yours? Brian.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome on this very stormy day. And Mayor Elliott is going to say a few words and make a short presentation. And I think there's a video to be shown, and there's also a few other presentations to be done as well. So, Mayor Elliott will take it over.
I guess first of all that we have one of Kristopher's sponsors is Fred Moffat from the Jungle Gym. So Fred, would you like to have a few words to say, please?
Kristopher, just where is he? Right there. Oh, there. He disappeared from over there. I'd just like to say that as we're a member of the corporate sponsorship of Jungle Gyms, we're really, really proud of what you're doing. And we're glad to be able to help you as you make your trek across Canada in support of what is a very, very worthy cause. I have a personal interest in this because a very good golfing buddy of mine, in his 40s, had to have a transplant to save his life. So I know how important it can be. It's a life-saving thing. And the best of luck to you. Any support the Jungle Gyms can give you, we're proud to do so. Keep it up, and all these guys here should be mighty proud of you. You're setting a fine example. And thank you very much.
We have some students here with us today from St. Paul's High School, and I know the principal's not here, but one of the teachers, Mr. Bob Sinnott, I think he's got two acts on today, one with the school and one with the Knights of Columbus. So Bob, could you come forward and have a few words, please?
Kristopher, I'm the Grand Knight of the Knights of Columbus, but before that I came here today as the homeroom teacher of a group of grade 7s, and I'm also a teacher representing the staff of St. Paul's. And we're very proud, very impressed with what you're doing. I had a very good discussion with my class this morning about the importance of organ transplant, and we realize it is extremely important. So certainly on behalf of the teachers and the staff of St. Paul's, congratulations on what you're doing. It's a pretty gutsy move. And also on behalf of the Knights of Columbus, I personally will make a presentation to you. And the Knights of Columbus is very much supportive of what you're doing as well.
I guess Kristopher, as the mayor of the town, it's a pleasure to welcome you to the town of Gander. In my office there is a guest book that all VIPs that come through our town will sign this book, and you're no exception. Before you leave here today, I want you to sign your name in it to be an official visitor to this community. Over the last 25, 30 years, I had the opportunity to work in the healthcare as a paramedic. And in that I was, as you know, a paramedic, we drive ambulances. And we deal with a lot of sickness, a lot of death. And I think it was during that term and working in that field I come to realize how important and how valuable that organs can be. And very shortly after I started that, I put my name down as an organ donor. And I still am today, that if for some reason I should leave this world unexpectedly or expectedly, that I might be able to leave something behind that can help somebody to live a little bit better quality life. So I would encourage everyone, young and old and middle-aged, be a donor, because you never know that when you're gone, the role that you can play in making someone's life a little bit easier. So Kristopher, I thank you for what you're doing. It takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing for your age, even though with your sickness, but it also takes a lot of courage for you to do it. And I think you should be commended, and you certainly should be a mentor and an inspiration to other young people in this country and in the world to see what you're doing. And I certainly wish you all the best. And now I would like to make to you a small donation from the people of Gander. That's my driver's license, you don't want that. Here you go. Thank you. Okay.
Great.
And I think Mr. Sinnott now wants to make a presentation to you.
So Kristopher, on behalf of the Knights of Columbus, congratulations. Donation. We have a copy over here. Just a good picture.
Okay.
as well.
And Christopher, there's a couple of students, I think, from St. Paul's that need to make a presentation to you. And Gander Collegiate.
Gander Collegiate, yes, we have the president of our student council.
Okay, but President, come forward. Now you're getting rid of us old men, getting some nice young looking girls, eh?
You don't mind.
We'd just like to present you with a donation also, and we're very proud of you too, because it takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing.
Okay. St. Paul's? Get there. Get the picture taken. Come
Go
back.
back, go back, go back. You're too fast. You're fast, yeah. I'm old. Thanks.
I know that there is a short presentation that Christopher and them are going to show us. So, Christopher, you want a few words to say before you show them, or after?
After.
After? Okay, fine. Well, we're going to watch, I think it's a scene on it. So there's a set there I'd like to present to you on behalf of the town. Okay. I noticed one thing in I was watching. You had a Toronto Maple Leaf shirt on. You a Maple Leaf fan? Yeah. Me too. Wow, that's great. And now you can have a few words to say to the people.
All right, well, first I'd like you to meet my team. Right there with the camera, my dad, driver of the motorhome, Kelly Knowles. The other guy beside him, film director and driver of the van, Merle Roberts. And at the very back, holding Tim Hortons coffee, George Marcello, road manager. Just like to thank you guys for coming out today and supporting me on my campaign. And now George can come up and say some more words. Thank you.
I want to really thank everybody for attending. I apologize, I was trying to get my cell phone working. It's been 2 days and I can't live without a cell phone, period. So we got it working.
That's true.
At this point in the time, we call this part up close and personal with Chris, so we're going to get him back up here. It's a chance to ask Kristopher some questions, and it's his favorite part, and he loves answering the questions. Right, Chris? You love answering the questions? Yeah. So if we can get that first person, that first brave person to ask Kristopher a question, that would be great. There we go.
How long were you waiting for your liver?
Whole life, 14 years.
Show him your belly, Chris.
Here.
He doesn't look like he's sick or suffering with any kind of disease, but he's had to undergo 20 operations just to keep alive. And it's amazing what keeps him going. You know, he's got an incredible spirit.
How old do you gotta be an organ donor?
That's a good question. There is no age. Anybody can be an organ donor, including the elderly people. A lot of older folks feel that they're too old to donate their organs, and we had a recent case of a 103-year-old great-great-grandmother, and she donated 2 of her organs, and those people that received them are doing quite well, so there's no age barrier.
If you have a driver's license and your door is marked onto them when you want to be an organ donor, so I have it marked on my license, you know, but you can be, as George said prior, but once you get a driver's license, you can have it on the corner, and then they know immediately that you're a donor.
We also got some donor cards that we'll bring to the students here as well as the City Hall.
You're a donor.
We also got some donor cards that we'll bring to the students here as well as the City Hall. And more questions? We got one after? How many communities have we been to? Roughly about 125 communities so far. He's got about another 70 to go before he finishes the finish line in Toronto. In November.
When did you know that you wanted to be like walking around the province?
I went about 4 years ago. I met George. He would walk across Canada, about a 769-day walk. And I met him in my hometown, Sarnia, Ontario. And sure enough, I asked him if I could do the same thing he did.
I couldn't say no to Scott. He just kept persisting and persisting, and he got his way like he usually does.
Christopher, you've been waiting 14 years for a transplant. Is it because of the lack of donors or the difficulty of a match that you've had to wait so long?
Well, it's not really that. It's for me that I'm not in the hospital right now, sick. I'm like dying to receive my liver. So people are in there that aren't as sick but are in the hospital waiting. So they'll get bumped up ahead before I will. And I'll get dropped down and lower until I get in the hospital sick.
He actually had a time about 4 months ago, the doctor came out at a press conference, announced that he was at the top of the waiting list, and they were very optimistic that it would happen any week, but he only stayed there for a little while. Once they seen he was still moving around, he kind of went back to the end of the line again.
Chris, what's been your biggest challenge since you started this one?
The winter, the weather. It's been cold.
Yeah. Right across the country, the weather's been pretty...
It's been alright, but like when we started this walk, we started in winter and it was very vicious.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Tell them where you've gone to so far. You started in Sarnia, where you've been to.
Alright, I started in Sarnia, Ontario,
On.
January 8th, 2004, and I walked from there to Victoria, BC, well, Vancouver, BC, and got done June 18th, and flew home to my hometown again and stayed there for the summer. And then we're back out here, and today is day 2 of our East Coast journey.
Did you show him your life savings? Chris carries this with him everywhere he goes. He's been carrying it actually for the last 13 years. Not this particular model. He's gone through 3 different generations of lifesavers. And every day we're praying that it goes off. Because once it goes off, we rush him to an airport to get his transplant. Been waiting 13 years now. Any more questions?
Is it hard to find a place where you can go to donate like an organ like that? Like, can you do it in most cities?
Yeah, that's a good question too. We're trying to, what Christopher's trying to do is bring more attention to this issue, because right now we don't have enough retrieval centers across the country. I'm pretty sure here in Gander they could make arrangements to have the organs flown, but there's some remote parts in the country where it's impossible to do it. So we're trying to urge the government to create more retrieval centers so that anywhere in Canada organs should be able to get retrieved.
What's your goal of getting it? Like, what's your goal?
Just let everybody know to become an organ donor and sign your organ donor card. That's pretty much about it.
There's almost 4,000 Canadians on the waiting list right now. And what we've been saying right at the beginning, Canada has the potential to save everybody. Nobody needs to be waiting desperately or for such a long time like Chris has. We have the potential to save everybody. That there's enough organs available. What we're trying to do is get the government to recognize this so that, you know, we can address all the shortcomings right now. And we need to improve our system, revolutionize our system, create more retrieval centers. And if we did that, everybody on the waiting list can get saved. So we're trying to really make this an issue that the government's going to pay attention to.
Is this the first time that an effort of this degree has been done? Like, it seems to me that it's been almost 40 years now that organ donations, that we know it's been possible. Why has it taken almost 40 years for the society and the community at large to become aware of what can be accomplished?
Good question. I think it's a matter of priorities in our country right now. It was never brought up as an urgent priority. In some other countries it has been, such as Spain. About 15 years ago, once they found out that organ transplants are a cure, there's an available cure, they made it a priority, and they were the ones that first created a system called precious consent, where everybody was registered in a registry in their country, and those that didn't want to be on the registry would take their names off. As a result of that system, they've had the highest rate of lives saved in the whole world. So they took this issue as a priority, and we've been trying to say to the government that this needs to have that same kind of attention. And I think it's more of a mind think for our country. Like, you know, people just weren't talking about this issue, and we need to have more people talking about it so it becomes an issue that becomes very acceptable in our country. And so this is why we feel that Kristophers campaign is bringing it to the surface. So you'll probably see in the next couple of years that some vital changes will be made.
How do you go to school? Don't you miss it, or do it by home?
Well, for high school, they said that I could study and come back and take the courses, like the tests. And if not, they'll give me 4 going away credits. And that pretty much means that they'll pass me for the first semester, but I'll still have to do the second semester. It's up to the second semester for passing out.
You would probably rather stay on the road than finish. Well, it's not really about money. The reason why we're asking for funds is to help us meet our expenses on the road. There's so many enormous expenses, and we want to get them to the finish line. So if any funds come over and beyond our expenses, we're going to make donations to both the sick kids' hospitals, and they can use it over there. But right now we are in urgent need for funds. And we do have, good question, we do have some flags here that are also available for sale, $10 a piece.
Won't have any.
I got them here somewhere. I know I got them in. I'll find them after. Oh. Wow, what a good eye, Fred.
That's what I'm really.
We have these flags here for $10 a piece if anybody's interested. We're going to stop by at Walmart after to hopefully set up a booth there to sell them. And there was somebody beside you that had a question? Thought I seen a hand up there, no?
Yeah, little fellow right there.
Oh, little fellow? Okay.
Do you have a question?
She asked some questions.
Oh, okay. She stole your question. Well, okay, got one back there.
What's wrong with your liver?
You're born with only tubes, Chris.
Well, when he was 6 months old, I'm not going to pronounce it properly, and Biliary Atresia is the name of the disease that he contacted, and it's very common for infants at that age to contact that disease. Atresia is the name of the disease that he contacted, and it's very common for infants at that age to contact that disease. Most infants don't survive past 2 years. Like, they die unless they get a transplant. And Kristopher, as I mentioned, is, like, he's not letting the disease win. He keeps fighting it, and that's why he's alive. Yes.
Have you ever been surprised at how much donations some people will make?
Absolutely. Our biggest, and what we say all the time, is the people that are keeping the...
It's like to a very person importance.
Country, and I think that's how our changes are going to be made from the students. You know, he's getting a really big voice. You know, one big voice right across the country. So it's the students. You know, you guys are going to be leading the way here.
Has your liver ever just hurt while you were walking?
No, I had one sick day and that's it, on this whole trip.
That was right near the end of the Western Leg when he was reaching Vancouver. He got sick for a few days. That was it, thank God.
Just for information of students, Mr. Mayor, there's 7 or 8 young folks here from Cape Breton who were down with a baseball team, I think, and got stranded here. But they were responsible for bringing all the bad weather, because all the bad weather comes from Cape Breton over to Newfoundland. They're all here as well.
Good to have them there.
We're sending them back with them fellas.
Okay.
And thank you for mentioning that there, but we also wanted to add that they came in second at the baseball tournament. And I seen them play, and these are real soldiers that were out there. They went through some pretty bad weather.
Well, I guess if there's no other questions, I know it's a busy schedule, so media is here, and I'm sure that they'll want to talk to George and Kristopher, and so I guess, Kristopher, I guess on behalf of everyone, thank you for your dedication. It takes, as I said, it takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing, and you certainly will be, whatever happens. We all pray that you'll live a long and prosperous life, and because of what you're doing, other people can live a prosperous life. But you certainly will be a real champion to our country, no question. Thank you very much.
And so with that, if any of the media want